Hi, my name is Natalie Howdegi, and I'm pretty excited to share with you some highlights and themes from my interview with the Director of Student Support. Who is the director? Well, she's a school administrator with about 25 years of experience. She started her career in Texas in special education. As a service provider, she was an educational specialist for students who were homeschooling. And then she found her way over here in California. She is currently overseeing all of student support services for a growing charter group situated here in SoCal. There are 7 campuses associated with this charter organization, ranging from traditional brick and mortar campuses. They also have virtual, there is hybrid, there's independent learning, and there's homeschooling. The great thing about this charter organization is that parents and learners have the opportunity to discuss and blend, truly create an individualized learning experience. We have a number of families who are enrolled at a brick and mortar campus with the charter school organization, but some of their day is spent at home, some of their day is independent learning, and some of their day is following with the rest of the curriculum as if they were fully enrolled as a traditional student. So they have the opportunity to kind of create, pick and choose what works for them depending on their learning style and what works for them. So that's pretty cool and definitely not something you see a lot of out here. Some interview themes that popped up. She talked a lot about how they are using existing and emerging technologies to keep themselves connected, to stay connected with the students, with the families, with the parents, and any and all combinations in between there. There's so many more exciting ways, faster ways to get information out, especially as things change very quickly. So they've moved far beyond sending an email or something through snail mail or calling and leaving a message on a home phone. She talked about how using that existing technology to improve coordinating communication and advocacy within student-facing departments by not only using the technology, but also creating more leadership opportunities and expanding roles and responsibilities that way. We talked about the emerging technologies. This goes also with how they communicate with the parents, how the parents communicate with each other, how the staff communicates with each other, and how the peers, the students can communicate with administrators, teachers, parents, what have you. We also talked about a legal issue that is impacting the school. It's going to be impacting the school more significantly next July, but AB 1316 and what that's going to mean for this school and all charter schools here in Southern California. Some student support strategies. So here's where I'm talking a little bit about the emerging and existing technologies. They use automated text messaging and they use also just regular text messaging. They have text threads where administrators might have a thread going with a group of parents, teachers or groups of teachers might have threads going with a particular student and the parent, or groups of students to keep everyone connected if they're doing a small group presentation. That there's a lot of encouragement where people are asked to reach out and connect with each other through text or through Google Suite apps, maybe through Google Hangouts. The Google Forms are used quite extensively for assignments, for gathering quick information to show trends with how parents are feeling about a particular issue or the direction the school might need to go in on a particular concern. There's also flexible meeting places and flexible scheduling. If a student is having an issue in class, then there's multiple places where that student can go and either self-regulate or maybe go to the student support offices and see if someone is available up there, can meet them over in what they would call the cafe or the lounge, which is very much designed like it sounds. It looks like a Starbucks cafe, or it might look like some cool, relaxed restaurant area where they can just hang out and decompress, communicate with the student support person what's happening, and then go back into class. So it feels much more relaxed and less sterile. And so far, they're seeing students really take advantage of those opportunities and seek out help In the beginning, there might be more seeking of support, but as the school year progresses, these students are able to self-rely a little bit more frequently, and that's really nice to see. That also falls in line with the multiple point persons. Everyone knows everyone at these schools. Yes, there are 7 campuses, and yes, it's spread out over about 100 square miles, but believe it or not, all the families know each other, all the students know each other, and they know all of the administrators and the staff. So they're quite comfortable going and talking to each other about any problem at all, which I found was to be just it's unheard of in other schools where I've worked. So I thought it's quite interesting. Leadership. They take leadership to a whole new level. Of course, we have traditional administrative staff, faculty type positions, but within all of that, you're going to have little mini leadership roles. They could rotate. You could be self-appointed. You could decide, I'm tired of doing this, and give it to somebody else. But everyone is given an opportunity and a voice to be part of any level of leadership. So they're going to have team grades, for example. All the K1 teachers might get together and have lunch periodically throughout the week, go through things that are working, that are not working, and then that team leader is going to take it to the next level up. Or they might rotate and decide which of those team's teachers is going to go to the 504 meeting that week. Because like I said, not only are there flexible meeting places for students, if a student is having a hard time in one particular first grade class, for example, that student has the opportunity to go over to the other first grade class and work. They can take their stuff over there. Chances are they're working on something very similar anyway. All of these classrooms are open. So you are going to have 5 or 6 classrooms going at one time within the same large open space. That's very interesting as well. So all of those leaders are very connected. The teamwork is cohesive. You're also going to have flexible meeting options then in that capacity as well. They've got retreats, they've got team building exercises, so many opportunities for staffing to get together and discuss what's happening in the school, what their targets are, what their goals are, and how to implement those. There is clear expectation and encouragement of parental involvement at every leadership level. Parents are vital to the success of this particular school organization. There are multiple parent committees in charge of several things throughout the school, things that even administration has nothing to do with, but that are solely ran by the parents. And then they might send a leadership representative over to administration to kind of keep them in the loop. And then again, they're using whatever technology they have to keep everything organized, flowing, and current. So, I mean, there's a lot of innovative things happening here. And to hear her talk about this, it was inspiring. You could tell that she was very passionate about having this school represent the forefront of all of these traditional issues. How do we keep students engaged? How do we keep students moving forward academically? And how can we do that creatively? AB 1316, this is a controversial bill that just passed, I want to say last year, the year before. It goes into effect next year, and it's going to drastically reduce the number of charter schools available, particularly those serving independent students. So it's going to impact all of our charter schools here in California, in the entire state. But how it impacts this school in particular seems very interesting. It'll be a challenge for them. It's going to impact learners who are outside the charter organization's county. Many of these families are attracted to their learning model and philosophy because there's a lack of educational choice in the area, and those learners are going to be automatically disenrolled. So unless this bill is modified, changed, amended, repealed, revised, or the school opens a charter under another LEA, these kids are not going to have that option any longer. In addition to that, they're also going to be capped at the number of in-county learners that they can enroll because of the LEA enrollment. So for example, let's just say that the LEA in that area has 500 independent students, then that means that all of the charter schools under that LEA can only have 500 students total between all of them. So leadership she talked a lot about how leadership is struggling morally, ethically, realistically, how they're going to tackle this problem. Not only is it going to eliminate some students from their population, but it's also going to drastically reduce their per student funding. So they're really scrambling right now, trying to find ways to meet this newest change and to keep students enrolled and to keep their funding, where it is. Lastly, I asked her if she had the opportunity to give a professional development course to newly employed administrators or people who were considering going into school administration. And she shared with me something that they do annually. They have a symposium, and I feel like this is really innovative and ambitious. But every year they have a themed annual symposium. A lot of it is organized, advertised, put out by the parents. But there is administration oversight, and it's held within the first 4 to 6 weeks of school. So it's sort of like a kickoff event, and it's really inspiring. What it does is it includes educational enrichment for staff, faculty, and administration, first and foremost. There is a keynote speaker. And then there's also, it's sort of like an educational fair, a community resource fair, where local education service providers and therapeutic resources come together. Parents can attend this. They're encouraged to attend this. Other resource providers bring the entire community together to see what is available. They might or might not be, working through the school, but it is there for the parents in that community to take advantage of. And this is fantastic because, like I said, this school organization is spread out over 100 square miles, and this does a great job of bringing together all of those communities into one huge 2 or 3 day event. So I really think it's a great opportunity for all of those people out in that area. And it was wonderful to get to know her and to hear about all of the great changes that she's been bringing to our charter school systems of choice out here in this area.